Ryu doesn't need a ladder, he's standing. The tallest players in the NBA right now are Zach Edey and Victor Wembanyama. They're listed at 7'4", but those guys are dwarfs in comparison to this 18-year-old prodigy who the NBA needs to get ready for. Here is a video of Olivier Ryu cutting the net after his Florida Gators won the national championship. But what's the difference between him and every other champion following this tradition? Ryu doesn't need a ladder, he's standing still. He can dunk a basketball without jumping, and watching him in layup lines looks like a toddler playing on a mini hoop. And that's because he's 7'9", taller than the tallest current NBA player. But Ryu isn't just a giant among current players, he's taller than the tallest players ever. George Morrison and Manute Bol were 7'7", and the scariest thing is that Ryu is still growing. Just look at this viral video from a few months ago when he meets Shaquille O'Neal. Freeze on Shaq's face right here. Don't forget, Shaq is 7'1". 99.9% of his life he's been the tallest person in the room. He's probably never had to look up at somebody that tall in his entire life. Olivier Ryu is insane, and he's been breaking records since coming out of the womb. At 5 years old, he was taller than his teacher in kindergarten. He was 6 feet at just 8 years old. He was 7 feet at 12 years old, and at 14 years old, he became the world's tallest teenager at 7'5". He's been officially recognized by the Guinness World Records book as the tallest teenager since, and when you really think about it, even back then in 2022, he was taller than Victor Wembanyama is now at 14 years old. Olivier Ryu has been going viral for years when a video leaked of him dominating his competition at 12 years old. As you can see by the highlights, this wasn't fair. The footage even caught the attention of current NBA stars, with Steph Curry commenting on posts that he had so many questions that nobody has answered. And I bet you have questions too, so let me answer them for you, because those clips were several years ago. Ryu has grown a lot since then, and not just physically.
When you think about being 7'6", do you think of it as a blessing or a curse or both?
A blessing.
A blessing?
Yeah.
That's nice to hear. Why do you say that, generally speaking?
You can use it for almost everything. You can use it for being famous, you can use it for basketball, you can use it for highest shelf in the kitchen or whatever. So, yeah.
Ryu, born in Canada February 2006, comes from an athletic background. While his father at 6'8" was a photographer, his mother Anna played volleyball and his older brother Camille, who's 6'8", played basketball. But Olivier was different, and once he started gaining popularity on social media playing AAU in his home country of Canada, he travelled to Europe to join Real Madrid, the most successful European club who have a reputation of developing NBA talent. Luka Doncic is their best ever player and biggest name, but other NBA success stories include Nikola Mirotic, Usman Garuba and Willy Hernangomez. It was here in Madrid, standing out against the top youth teams across Europe, that some top high school programs in America took interest, and Olivier Ryu chose to join IMG Academy, one of the top schools in the United States. They have a reputation of developing talent. Just check out the list of NBA players that have attended their program. The most interesting case study on this list is Zach Edey, who funnily enough is also Canadian. When Edey first arrived at IMG, he had no interest in playing basketball. He actually wanted to be a baseball player, and at first he was nowhere near ready, but the coaches at IMG were patient, prioritizing his development, and in time he became a ranked high school player, got a bunch of offers and went to Purdue. There, after 2 years, he became the best player in college basketball, won National Player of the Year back-to-back years, led his team to the national championship game, and was drafted 9th by the Memphis Grizzlies in the 2024 NBA draft.
The 9th pick in the 2024 NBA draft, the Memphis Grizzlies select Zach Edey from Toronto and Purdue University.
Zach Edey had a solid rookie season, averaging 9.2 points, 8 rebounds and 1.3 blocks as the starting centre for one of the best teams in the Western Conference. The success of Zach Edey after leaving IMG inspired the program to take on a similar challenge of preparing another giant for the next level, and that challenge was Olivier Ryu. He was even more of a process than Edey. Ollie has been training like a pro athlete for years now, and being at IMG Academy allowed him to focus on basketball every day. His daily routine would consist of weight weight room training, endurance, one-on-one sessions with the skill coaches, and time spent with his personal nutritionist. For Olivier, a lot of things came easy to him, rebounding, blocking shots, scoring close to the basket, but at his size the real challenge was keeping up with the pace and holding up for an entire basketball game. And he got better at that. At first he would only play sparingly in blowouts and for limited minutes, but as his high school career progressed he received more and more playing time and featured in a larger role. One thing I know you'll all agree with is that injuries are the worst part of sports. But it's not just athletes, everyday people deal with injuries and prepare for it, it just happens. Which is why I want to tell you about today's sponsor, Morgan & Morgan. Most insurance companies claim
to the big stage to a 7'7" shot-blocking Spider-Man who once hit 6 threes in a single half. These are NBA players who you won't believe exist. And we gotta start with Sim Buller, cause this guy made history in only 3 games. Yeah, Sim became the first player of Indian descent to play in the NBA. And by play, I mean the guy stepped on the court for the Sacramento Kings and blotted out the sun. He was 7'5" and weighed over 360 pounds. That's basically 2 LeBrons who never skipped dessert stacked on top of one another.
They're all mice. And there it is, Sim Buller with his first NBA basket.
Jesus, dude makes Shaq look regular size. And for a brief moment, the Kings tried to build a marketing campaign around him. Didn't quite work out. But hey, Sim still got the last laugh. He made NBA history, got the bag, and never even had to jump. Respect. Now, Sim Buller was big, but Taco Fall was a freak of nature. No, seriously, if Taco wasn't a pro baller, he'd be getting studied in a lab. For starters, he's 7'7", and when he was living on campus in UCF in Florida, the college had to adjust the facilities to suit his height.
They've also done some things like in their weight room and training facility, they've had to take out ceiling tiles. Because when he does the jump drills and everything, his hands hit the ceiling.
I mean, the neck pain alone could have been a career ender. But that's not all. Taco also has an 8'2" wingspan and a size 22 shoe. And back in 2020, he requested that top shoe designer, Siriato, custom make him a pair.
I got a request. I don't know if you're gonna be able to do it or not.
Let me hear it.
Nobody's ever asked you for this in the store. I bet you. Size 22. Do you have anything in a size 22?
That's wild. I don't know. I don't have anything near that, honestly.
Yeah, that ain't a standard size shot. But luckily, Siriato got the job done.
That's tough, man.
Put them on there.
Damn, those things are huge. Taco's got the giant drip, but we gotta take things down a notch on the height scale. Cause Tyrone Bogues, aka Muggsy, is the short king GOAT. Yeah, you know the way being tall is pretty major when it comes to going pro. Well, nobody told Muggsy because this man got capped at 5'3" and it still didn't stop him. See, at that height, life was already gonna be a challenge. But this dude decided to increase the difficulty by going into basketball. And in 1987, he lined up for the Washington Bullets and became the shortest player in NBA history. Hey, if I didn't know better, I'd say this was AI, no pun intended. But Muggsy was actually a bit of a cheat code. He played 14 seasons, and amongst all the hype, he was quicker and more agile than anyone. And you know what's really wild? He was teammates with Manute Bol, the tallest player ever in the NBA. Yeah, we'll talk more about Manute later, but picture this, a 5'3" guy and a 7'7" monster were linking up before anyone knew who The Rock and Kevin Hart were. That's insane. But so was Spud Webb, because he may not have been as short as Muggsy Bogues, but he wasn't much taller either. At 5'7", he was the 3rd smallest player ever, and he shared the court with the players twice his size. But the thing that's so crazy about Spud was that he didn't just compete, he had everyone in sports rubbing their eyes in disbelief. See, in 1987, Spud participated in the NBA dunk contest. Yeah, a 5'7" guy taking on the big dog. It looked ridiculous. Not as ridiculous as how it looked when he got to the final, matched up against his 6'8" teammate Dominique Wilkins, and won. Holy smokes, the little guy's flying. Yeah, flying's cool, but so is being the human version of a chameleon, because Charlie Ward was moving mad. This guy won the Heisman Trophy as a quarterback at Florida State, aka college football royalty. But instead of pursuing a career already there for the taking, he decided he wanted to play with a round ball instead of an oval and completely